Hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over a few things from the most recent Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon trailer and how it shows or alludes to some features that were in previous games coming back to the scene in this new installment to the franchise. First off, we will take a look at the most obvious of these, Primal Armor. According to the Armored Core wiki, Primal Armor is a defensive shield created around a next by molding a sustained flow of Kojima particles around the craft's hull. The purpose of Primal Armor is to reduce damage taken by the craft's armor. However, absorbing attacks will drain the Primal Armor's effectiveness until it can be recharged. More or less, in layman's terms, in Armored Core 4 For Answer, Kojima was a form of energy that was horrible for the world and was killing it. However, they used this power to power their high-end mechs known as Nexts. One of the main uses players would be seeing through this was the overshield-like orb that was always present when taking hits. We can see this in the trailer in a few places, with shots seemingly being eaten by the shields and then simply being brushed off as if they didn't just get hit. We can already see some parallels with the Kojima-based Primal Armor and this new shielding in some lore ways as well, as the story begins with an area devastated as a result of a new substance known only as melange, a leftover element from a cataclysm. So we have a similar world building point of unstable elements being packed into our mechs. From software is, if anything, consistent, and we love them for it. Another thing that seems to be alluded to somewhat is some level of overboosting. While I don't think we're going to be seeing this to the extreme that we had in For Answer, where it could carry you through the skies at Mach 4 for long distances, I do believe that we will be seeing the baby brother of this of sorts. In the original lore, these types of boosts were directly fueled by jetting out Kojima particles, and with our mechs being packed down with melange, I think it's not a too far-flung theory that it would work in a similar way. I do think, though, that this will either be less effective, or at least in our use of it, less efficient. In regards to mech classes over the series, I would place the mechs that we're seeing here in Armored Core 6 somewhere between the normals of Armored Core 3 and prior and the nexts of Armored Core For Answer. Some sort of in-between, stronger mech that's not as advanced. Sort of proto-next with shields and some overboosting potential. However, this feature seems to be alluded to in the last moments of the trailer, as we can hear the Armored Core seemingly charging something up, and then jetting off somewhere else at high speeds. Likely what we can expect from this feature will be the overboost can lunge us into a direction of some unknown distance and quickly cover ground. I can see this being very important for fans of melee builds, whether they be blades or pile drivers, just being able to close that distance suddenly on an enemy who may be backpedaling them or just keeping right out of reach. Finally, the last feature that is seemingly all but confirmed in words is a feature originally referred to as Primal Armor Bombing. This happens when the Armored Core charges up and releases a large burst of energy from itself that, while depleting your own reserves, could also do lots of damage to the enemy Armored Core or its shields, if your weapon of choice was poor damage to said shields. I would say that this also alludes to them keeping different weapon types more or less effective against enemy shields, a feature that was part of this system originally. As the Armored Core in the trailer who Primal bombs the enemy quad, we see that followed up with a pile driver strike rather than simply striking them outright when they got close. Not a lot needs said about this feature, as they make it fairly clear in the trailer what it is and how it works, especially when we pair this with our knowledge of prior games and how they implemented these exact features. That about wraps up what we can glean as features directly from Armored Core For Answer from this trailer. And with that, if you wish to stay up to date on all things Armored Core 6, whether they be PvP montages and lore videos, mechanics videos, or build and emblem tutorials, make sure to click that subscribe button and then click the real subscribe button so that you stay up to date on all facets of the Armored Core experience. And before we go, while the last games had an in-game limit of 20 members per team, regardless of how large it is this time around, with the power of Discord on our side, we can easily get around this for larger communities overall. If you or your group of friends would like to help build something larger and greater together, please consider joining our Discord in the link below. We plan on not only having a premium main battle team of elites, with the ability to challenge sitting members in duels for the right to be on the main team, we also plan on running our own training academies led by veteran players in order to bring other newer players up to speed. as the genre notoriously has an extreme learning curve and is unfriendly to new players, and we wish to help you along your journey to becoming an ace pilot. Whether you aim to be a super sweaty Armored Core pilot who wreaks havoc on the battlefield, or simply wish to be more casual and partake in community events with like-minded people, we have a home here for you in Armored Core. Until next time, we are Darkstar Imperium, and I'm your host, Emperor Themiel, signing off.